Rita came back. How you doing, bro?
How are you doing, Avery? Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, man. Nice to see you.
Hope all is well.
Yes, sir. Pretty good.
Good to hear.
So what do you think of the topic, man?
Yeah. So you did tell me last time that like even though lives have different topics, if we were having a topic last stream, then we could continue this stream.
Absolutely.
So I
before we do that, I do want to ask you a question, at least pertaining to my topic.
Yeah, I also did have a proof ready pertaining to the topic as well, but I did want to confirm that I could also like respond.
Yep, you sure can.
Good.
Okay.
Amazing. Okay.
All right. So what do you think? Do you think that Muhammad's the best example, or do you think that you may have some moral superiority to him?
No. Obviously, as a Muslim, I have to say he's the best example, or else I'm renouncing my faith, basically.
Not really.
I mean, I have to, as a Muslim, claim that I have to make is that he's infallible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof, that's deep. Okay, so you think Muhammad is infallible, meaning you don't think he even can commit a sin?
Yeah, basically.
You know the Quran says that he sinned in the past, right?
So the interpretation that we use for those are a sin in perspective to the people who like thought he harmed them. For example, the pagans, to them that would be a sin against them. For example, I'll just give an example. When Moses in the Quran, when Moses killed a man from like Pharaoh's empire, even though we don't believe it was a sin, it's called dhanb because the people of Pharaoh's empire regarded it as a sin against them because he took a man from their life, even though he was doing.
Who regarded it as a sin?
The people of Pharaoh's empire.
Right. So this verse doesn't say anything about the people. It says that Allah will forgive his sins. So if you're saying that this there's sins that you can commit against people where they forgive you or not, it's not what the verse says. It says that Allah may forgive you your past sins and your future sins. It's chapter 48, verse 2, if you're wondering.
One interpretation I have heard, and I'm happy for you to critique it because it could be false. So I'd like to hear your critique on it as well. Mm-hmm. One interpretation I have heard is that there are things that are considered like bad for prophets that aren't considered bad for us. Like, for example, if he were to sleep through his morning prayer, for example, for us normally that's not bad. It's like unintentional, whatever. But for him as a prophet, he should be feeling guilt for that. He should be striving to do better.
Or if Muhammad had, like, as Muslims, you guys are only limited to up to 4 wives, but and it would be bad for you if you went over that limit. But Muhammad, he can go over that limit. It's different.
Yeah.
Right. So regardless, there's good and bad for both parties. Now there's levels to it, but so what is considered bad for Muhammad would still be like if I don't know. Let's say if Muhammad said that there was somebody equal to Allah, that's bad for everybody, right? Him and
everybody, of course.
And it would actually be even worse on him since he's the prophet. Mm-hmm. So he'll be held more accountable for saying something like that than some layman who says that, right?
Godlogic, one thing I want to add, small tiny thing. You said it right. Muhammad has a privilege that no other Muslim man has, that he has the right to have an unlimited number of wives of women. But it's not only that, it goes even much deeper than that. Muhammad he has the privilege to even lust for any married woman. So let's say you are married in the 7th century and Muhammad would have seen your wife and he likes her, he can force you to divorce her, to take her from you. That's one of the 16 privileges of Muhammad that no other Muslim man has.
What's the proof for that?
Bring the dalil, Rob. What are you talking about?
The dalil, no problem.
Bring the dalil. Okay.
No,
as he's bringing that up, because he has everything. He's about to bring that up, but I wanted to make the point.
Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So with this,
I already have it.
Okay, he already has it.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm making is that when Allah says that Muhammad sinned, he sinned. Whether it's what is a sin for him is not necessarily a sin for the rest of the people, but it's a sin for him. So in Allah's eyes, so he's not infallible. He still made mistakes and sin.
Yeah, look. Here's the proof.
Oh, there you go.
We're going to go to Yeah, we're going to go to Tafsir al-Qurtubi for chapter 33, ayah 50 of the Quran.
He's a Shia.
Rida Ali, are you Shia?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, but just to give you an idea, and I'm sure it's also in your Shia books, but to give you an idea, right? I didn't know that you were Shia, but it's okay. So this is the tafsir for Surah Al-Ahzab, chapter 33, ayah 50, Tafsir al-Qurtubi, as you see. This is Sunni source, but this is also, I'm sure it's in your Shia sources as well. Privilege number 10 for chapter 33, ayah 50, and the Arabic is on the screen as well on top. If Muhammad looks at a married Muslim woman, this is about Muslim women, if he desires her, then her husband is forced to divorce her and hand her over to Muhammad so that the Prophet can have with her. Ibn al-Arabi said, this is what the servant of the two holy mosques has also said, as was clear to the scholars from the story of Zayd ibn Muhammad, the adopted son of Muhammad, which also had this meaning. So the scholars in Sunni Islam, they are explaining that yes, Muhammad can even take somebody's wife. It's privilege number 10, as you see on the screen. Al-Ashir, 10. Go ahead, brother Godlogic.
Yeah.
Those darn Sunnis always trying to mess up the religion, huh, Rita?
And by the way, like, that's a fair point you do give up, because there are a lot, and I'm sure you know there's a lot, and like Sunni hadith books of like Sahih hadiths that clearly show immorality with the Prophet that we use in like debates against them as well.
Yep.
So I would like to point that out as well.
But this is literally for chapter 33, ayah 50. If you read, even if you don't put tafsir besides it, if you read chapter 33, ayah 50, it says any believing woman. So Muhammad can take any believing woman. What does it mean, any believing woman? Married, not married, right? And we know it's in the context of his adopted son. At that time, his name was Zayd ibn Muhammad, Zayn, the son of Muhammad. The moment he starts to lust after his adopted son's wife, meaning his daughter-in-law Zainab bint Jahsh, Allah allows him to, take her, God forbid. But that's his.
As far as this verse, at least from, I can't speak for Sunnis, but from the Shia point of view, I have heard that they divorced before even the idea of him wanting to marry her came into his mind.
No, it happened because of him going inside his house. So the story goes like this. One day he enters the house of his son. His son wasn't at home, and he sees the wife of his adopted son, Zainab, and he says, Subhan muqallib al-qulub, glory to Allah who turns hearts, basically allowing his heart to pump out of his chest because he saw her with little clothes. And from that moment on, the story started. And then because of that, adoption gets nullified because Muhammad lusting after his own daughter-in-law. It's a very known story.
Yeah.
So what I'd say to that, though, is in 33:37, in the Quran 33:37, it says regarding the marriage, it says, when Zayd completely lost interest in his wife, then we gave her in marriage to you. So wouldn't that mean that Zayd lost interest in her first and then Muhammad married after? Not that he wanted her while they were married?
Yeah. Have you read the tafsir for it? Why Zayd lost interest for her? Because remember, Muhammad enters his house, he sees his daughter-in-law, he likes her, he falls in love with her. So it's basically a emotion. So it's basically a story. Because of that, if I show you the Sunni sources, it's very bad. Even Allah, because of Allah who wants to reserve Zainab for Muhammad, he even does not allow the private part of her original husband, the son of Muhammad, to not even function anymore. And I have the sources if you want. And because of that, he lost interest because his thing that did not work anymore.
All right. Well, I'd have to look into that from Shia sources. I can't. Sure. It's a point, and I have to do research and look into it. I've only said what I've heard so far, and I can't even confirm what I've said because I don't have the evidences ready. So I apologize for that. So I'm going to have to look into that from the Shia sources, Shia Tafsir. And yeah, basically. Did you want to add anything, Lod?
Yeah, I just have one. I wanted to get to my one question with you.
Yes.
In regards to what the Quran says, and Mom is teaching this. So what is your understanding of well, before I ask you this,
Yes.
do you believe that child sex relations is morally wrong? Marrying.
If we're defining child as before puberty, then yes.
Okay. So, and what is your understanding of 65 verse 4?
65 4.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh no, fair enough.
As a Shia, you don't hold that Muhammad slept with Aisha at 9, do you?
No, we believe she was anywhere from 18 to 21.
That's not true.
Well, we could put that on hold just for a second. We're gonna see what
They
Allah.
actually believe that she was 10.
Oh, they believe it was 10.
She was
Or-
10, yeah. So what the
Yeah.
Sunnis believe, she was 9, but in Shia Islam, I have multiple books to back it up, like Al-Kafi, where it says that Aisha was 10, according to the Shia sources.
But then again, we don't take Al-Kafi as fully authoritative like Sahih Muslim or Sahih Bukhari.
No, that's not true, because you
That is
Shia
not
say that
true.
Al-Kafi is more authentic than Bukhari. That's what you say.
Yeah, because we believe Bukhari is
And I can show you that. What if I can prove that it's authentic?
That's a different story because we also
It's a different story.
that's a different story.
So
but-
give me the screen, brother. Just for argument's sake. Look, here is Mirat al-Uqul. Mirat al-Uqul, Shia source. Mirat al-Uqul by Al-Allama al-Majlisi. Volume 24. Shia, not Sunni. Look. Page 235 on top, in the left upper corner. 235. Volume 24, we scroll down. Look. The Messenger of Allah entered upon Aisha and she was 10 years old. دخل بعائشة وهي بنت 10 سنين. And we go down and lo and behold, grade Sahih. Boom.
Wow. Okay. So
So-
Sunnis say she was 9. Shias say she was 10.
Yep.
Okay.
And I have multiple sources to back this up as well.
Send me that on Telegram. I need that.
Sure. Do you see how they have lied to us from the Shia side as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's tough.
Tough.
So 65-4. How do you understand that, Rita?
Yeah, sorry, I got off. Wait, 65 4 you said?
Yeah.
All right.
Rob Christian, ladies and gents. Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this is talking about the waiting period
Yes.
between marriages. Yeah.
So do you see how it says that it talks about the older women first, and then it talks about the ones who haven't menstruated, and then it talks about the ones who are pregnant, right?
As well. The waiting period is 3 months.
So you see, these are two different books, as you see, brother Godlogic, right?
Yeah,
So
I see.
book number 1, this is book number 2. This is Al-Kafi, who, as according to the Shia, is basically the most authentic book in Shia Islam. And on page literally 588, same story. Inna Rasulullah dakhala bi'Aisha wa hiya bintu
Yeah, you got to send me that.
10 years old.
Send me both.
And like I showed you, the hadith is sahih, not da'if.
Rob, if I don't see these sources within the next 2 minutes,
I got you, bro. I got you.
Lana to Allah, Rob. Yeah, so you see the verse, Rita?
65 4, yeah. So should I read it or?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So, as for your woman past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months. And those who have not menstruated as well. As for those who are pregnant, their waiting period ends with delivery, and like it continues. But that's like the important part, I'm assuming.
Right. Yep, absolutely. So the important part is the second category where it talks about the ones who haven't menstruated. So those are the little girls who haven't. They're prepubescent. They haven't hit
Okay.
puberty.
Well, can people also not menstruate due to medical reasons, hormone imbalances, stuff like that?
Yeah, that would be a rarity that the Quran is not talking about. What I would say is that would include them, but it doesn't exclude the little girls who haven't menstruated either. So this would include little girls who haven't menstruated, and it would include girls who have a health defect.
Would you mind if I went to my tafsir for just for a moment?
Absolutely, bro. Yep. Look, we learning. We research. We learning. Go ahead, bro. You don't have to have a.
But
Yeah, go
brothers,
ahead, Rob.
as we are looking for it, let me show you if you get married to an infant in Shia Islam. So since it's Shia, if you get married to an infant, so a baby girl who is in the cradle of her, you got married to her, her parents gave you away to you. Watch. So this is Tahrir al-Wasila, volume 2, page 221. Look in the bottom, 221. Arabic books, not websites. Let's read. Question. So this is Q&A. Shia Islam. This is Sharia of Shia Islam. It's not permissible to have peep with the wife before 9 years of age, but enjoyment or there is no problem even with an infant who is suckling.
What?
The word is suckling, by the way, the same word that we read earlier with the Sunni guy.
No, that just means putting milk in the bowl.
Yeah, bro.
Wait, is this a hadith? Like, where is this from? I just want to know where it's from.
This is your Sharia, Shia, Sharia, Tahrir al-Wasila by Al-Khomeini.
I just want to remind everybody, this is Muslim Lantern's fault. The reason why we're doing this and doing topics like this is because Muslim Lantern. This is his fault. And he isn't here to defend and come and address this stuff since he studied the jurisprudence and knows all this stuff. This is his fault, ladies and gentlemen.
It's tough. Man.
Okay, wait. So this isn't like a hadith, though. This is Shia
jurisprudence, fiqh and Sharia. Fiqh and Sharia Shia source.
Well, so
this is literally the Sharia book for Shia.
Well, there's multiple Sharia books for Shia.
Mm-hmm. And I can show you also, so this is Al-Khomeini, and I can show you also Al-Sijistani too, if you like. Both agree that you can do the thawing to an infant. And you know what thawing means. I don't need to explain it to you to the dot. It's tough, man. Being a Muslim is tough.
This is just like basically scholars saying that this is permissible. It's not like
these are your marja. You know what a marja is, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of them. But not everybody. To be a Shia, though, you don't have to take.
What is your marja? What is your marja? Is it Sijistani or Khomeini? Who?
I'm in debate between Shirazi and Sistani.
Well, Sijistani says the same.
But
I have here Manhaj al-Salihin by Sayyid al-Sijistani, volume 3.
And the book that you're going to bring up, he did redact it later in the later volume.
No, he didn't.
He did. In the latest volume of Manhaj al-Salihin, that quote is not there anymore. He redacted it.
No, not sure. This is why now in Iraq they even allow you to marry a 9-year-old because of this in Iraq. And you know that. But anyway, brother Godlogic, thank you for having me, brother. I need to go. This was awesome. If you need my help, you know where to find me, brother.
Yes, sir.
God bless the chat and stay away from Islam, guys.
Amen. Yeah, guys, make sure you guys follow Rob Christian. That's literally his YouTube channel. It's Rob Christian. Go ahead and subscribe to the brother. Mods, go ahead and put his link in the chat if you can. Let's go ahead and support this brother. He should actually definitely have a lot more subscribers than he does have. So let's go ahead and push for Rob and support him, man. He's a good he'd be teaching, man. He has those sources on deck.
Okay. You ready to get back?
Yeah. So 6. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm on the Tafsir book right now, Tafsir al-Mizan, the one I told you about last time. If you want, you could find it online. Like, it's wide open if you want to pull it up too for yourself.
Is it in English?
Yeah. So if you literally I'll tell you how to spell it. Tafsir, and then Mizan.
Mizan.
Yeah. And then the first thing that comes up should be a website called almizan.org. Yeah. And then there you could enter the verse number, and then it'll take you right there.
Okay, so there's the opening and then there's the select a verse. So what
you just scroll down to the number of the surah. So this would be 65. You just scroll all the way down to 65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you could select the verse straight up.
Cool.
Just so you could like read along with me. And the reason why I do like this one is because it goes into like what a lot of like apologetics brings up, and it like debates those points as it goes along as well, which I kind of like.
So is this guy like a recent type of?
Yeah, 1900.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So we don't have anybody from earlier?
There's Tafsir al-Qummi, which is from like 300 AH. And there's a bunch like from along that time. But a lot of them focus on like strictly hadiths, so they just show hadiths from that time. This one I like because it goes into like the polemics of it and like actually talks about it.
Yeah, it seems like he's like trying to put a Band-Aid on the issue here. I hope that like he's not being. I'm not trying to look for somebody making a defense for it. I'm trying to look for what is the verse what are they saying it means? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this was written by a guy that studied the Quran for like over 30 years. And
he's contemporary. I would like to see what do the ancient scholars say about the issue in Shia Islam. He's a kid to these guys, to guys I'm asking about.
Well, I'm not sure if there's like open. This is because this is the main one used in Shia Islam, so that one's like wide open. I haven't found available sources for the other ones online.
Okay, so what part do you want us to look at? Because he does is 1 through 7. Let's see.
So just scroll down to verse 4.
Let's scroll down to verse 4. I put it so this is what I'm looking at. Oops, there we go. All right, so this is what I'm looking at over here on the left.
Yeah, so just scroll down. That's verse 1. So you just scroll down like maybe a couple of pages to verse 4.
How do I know that he's talking?
That's only about verse 1. Then it goes verse by verse, and then verse 4 is right there on the bottom.
On the bottom, this?
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right, let's see what he says. So he quotes the verse. Boom, boom.
And then
what is this? He's breaking down an Arabic word. Refer to doubt over yada yada. The women who do not expect to get a menstrual cycle.
So that was for the first part.
Right.
That's the first part, and then the second part is the paragraph right after that.
And of those who have not had their courses is linked to, and for those of your women who have despaired of menstruation by the conjunction and.
That's the one that you said referred to like young little girls, basically.
Yeah. Those women who have not yet menstruated, although they are at the age of menstruation, should observe an iddah for 3 months. No, so this one said, so the word is lam yahedna in the Arabic. Lam yahedna means they have never menstruated. It's never been done. So when he's saying that this is linked with the women who despair of their menstruation, if they haven't had their menstruation, these are two different categories. It's the people who despair their menstruation because they're too old, and then there's the ones who have not menstruated yet. It looks like he's trying to say that they're a part of the same category. Am I right in understanding that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's false. These are two different categories, but he's trying to make them one. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. I got you.
So the part that I do agree with him on is when it says it's and, so it's a conjunction with the next thought, but it's not connecting them with the same group. They both just have the same iddah. These are two different categories of females, though. One is the older one, too old to menstruate, so they don't know if they're going to menstruate at all. The other ones are the ones who haven't menstruated at all. They're too young to have menstruated. They've never done it. I'm your head now.
But okay, so just a question: how do you know that the non-menstruation refers to within their entire life versus referring to the 3-month period, not menstruating within that period?
It says lam yahedna, and those who have no courses, who have not had their courses. Lam yahedna. Lam means they've never had it before. Lam yahedna hasn't happened in the past. It's never happened.
Well, it says they have not menstruated, but in what period they haven't menstruated? Maybe it's talking about the period within the 3-month period they haven't menstruated, because the verse is talking about that 3-month period.
The word lam yahedna, they've never menstruated before. It's not in a particular period. They've never menstruated before.
Well, it directly translates to they have not menstruated.
Yes. In what way? That they've never menstruated before. They haven't had their periods.
But it doesn't say that they've never menstruated in their lives. It could have meant that they've never menstruated within that 3-month period, because that's what the verse was talking about.
Yeah, if my goddaughter, I have a goddaughter, she's just turned 7. She hasn't had her period yet. And I said, I can rightly say that she has not had her courses, right? She has not had her menses yet, right? I can say, and for those who have not had their menses, those who have not had their courses, that my goddaughter, she has not had her course. She's never.
Brother Godlogic, I came back regarding this. You're very correct. The word that is used in the ayah in 65:4 says "Wallahi lam yahidna" with a meme, lam.
Yep.
Now, if Godlogic would have not had an argument if len with the noon was used. So lam means they never had. And actually, if you go to your hadith, can you open the link that I posted in the chat, Brother Godlogic? It's an authentic hadith from Al-Kafi.
Yeah.
That's let him read it. I want him to read it because it's the fact that you're trying to defend this, yet you know it's allowed to not only marry, but divorce them after consummating the marriage with them. Read it. Read the hadith.
I got you.
Hadith is sahih.
Should I read it out loud? If a man,
So this is Al-Kafi volume 5. Read it.
if a man marries a maid while she is still young, he can't have intercourse with her until she reaches the age of 9.
Thank you very much. Done.
So basically, you can't.
So
consummate marriage.
9 years old you can have in Shia Islam. What if she didn't reach the age of puberty?
Well, that's another criteria that's given elsewhere.
No, it says 9 years old. The criteria is there. It's 9 years old.
I know
So-
that's one criteria, but there's
So
also.
let's say
other
she did not, she didn't reach the age of puberty at the age of 9. It allows you to do that. Look, it's 9 years old there.
If she's hit puberty, yeah.
No, it doesn't say that. Does it say that, Godlogic?
The only stipulation is 9 years old. It doesn't include whether she hits
There's
puberty
a
or not.
criteria given elsewhere that she must hit puberty, and then there's another criteria here that's given as 9.
So
And
this
would
hadith is
not-
daif? Is this hadith daif?
No,
Thank you very much.
But it
So
only gives
are you
one
trying to
criteria.
tell us then, that you have a contradiction within your Shia books and all of them are authentic? That's tough, man.
okay. Well, why would it be a contradiction? How could it not have rather been that both criterias must be met?
Is it just not understand what
must
we
be met.
just showed him?
And then there's a hadith that says she must reach the age of 9. Why are you saying that they can't go hand in hand in both?
Again, if she doesn't reach the age of puberty and she is 9 years old, according to this authentic hadith on the screen from Al-Kafi, it says sahih, right? You can do it with her, even if she didn't reach it, because the only condition is she must be 9 years old.
Yeah, the only condition in this hadith, but there are other hadith that give other conditions.
So forget about this one. This is authentic throughout
I'm not
the
saying forget
garbage.
about it. I'm saying
What
that.
are we going to do with it then?
I'm saying there's one criteria given here that she must reach the age of 9. There are other hadiths that give other criteria, such as she must reach puberty or that she must.
No, it should know.
Wait, let me ask something. So let's say she reached puberty at 7. Then is it lawful to consummate with her?
You have to wait till 9.
See, that's where
Both criterias must be met. This is only one criteria, but both criterias have to be met.
Oh, okay.
No,
So
it's
let me ask you this: do you believe that this is okay?
Modern day, unsure, but back when it was a societal norm, yeah.
Well, it wasn't societal norm. Like that's what I'm. We're not talking societal norms. We're not talking cultural relativism. We're talking about objectivity. Do you believe that this is morally good?
So I don't have the hadith on me right now, but I have heard before that another condition is that it must be societally acceptable.
So if the society accepts,
And so those two.
let's go with this. If the society accepts that, sleeping with an 8-year-old who has hit puberty is good, then that's all good. It's morally right.
Well, 9.
Okay.
Uh.
Let's say so. Not it wouldn't be good if it was 8-year-old.
So
It has to be 9, right?
So let's go with these 3 objective criteria. The first is the age.
That's not objective.
Well,
Saying when you say society sees it as okay, that's literally relativism. You get what I'm saying? That's subjectivity, because societies differ. The same society differs 2 years later on an issue, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's subjective.
yeah, but the ruling is objective that society has to accept it. It's not
I
saying that.
got you. So whatever society accepts, that's the good go, right?
If society accepts that criteria, that marriage, and then the other 2 criteria are met, then yes.
Okay, so you're saying if the society accepts puberty at 9 years old is okay to consummate with a girl at 9 years old who just began puberty, you believe that is morally good.
Morally acceptable.
Wow.
Would you do it?
No,
Why not?
because I don't think I'd personally be ready, like with a job and a family and stuff like that.
So
Or-
let's grant that you had this. Let's say you had a job. Of course, you're a little young. Let's say you had a job, you had housing, you had money, you had your finances all together, and you're ready for marriage. Would you take a 9-year-old who had just hit puberty and society thinks that that's okay?
I personally wouldn't. Of course, that's my preferences, though. I personally wouldn't.
Why wouldn't you?
Preference.
Why? What, like, Why wouldn't you? What's causing you not to prefer that?
Just preference, like literally just preference.
I know when you say literally just preference, we have our reasons why we prefer one thing over another. So what's your reasoning for saying that you prefer not to have a 9-year-old who just hit puberty?
Too young for me.
Too young?
For me, yeah. Preference wise.
But it wasn't too young for Rasulullah. According to Shia Islam, she was 10.
And he's saying that's okay. He's saying, Muhammad can have that preference for a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old.
Of course.
Right? And that's his preference. He's perfectly fine. He's saying, me personally, I don't prefer that. I prefer older.
So which means you have better morality, you're more, you've been raised better than the Prophet of Islam, according to that logic.
Well,
let me ask. Go ahead. I'll let you say this, and then I'll ask my last question on this, and then we can move forward.
Okay. Wait, but didn't you say we would also be able to go over
on your topic? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you. So could you objectively prove that when a girl hits puberty, she's not ready for marriage? Morally, objectively prove.
A 9-year-old?
If she hit puberty.
Yeah, you think that a 9-year-old?
I'm asking if you could objectively prove that that's.
Yeah, let's deal with this together. Have you ever seen a 9-year-old? Let's even say in puberty. Have you ever seen a 9-year-old who is physically developed and ready for true sexual intercourse and psychologically developed for marriage and holding down a household and tending to her husband and having kids and being a mother?
Today's day and age, no.
Right. So
but I have seen like very young ages. For example, my grandma was 13 when she got married. And
you seen your grandma at 13? You knew her?
No, I'm speaking in the past, but no, like in person, no.
Okay, so in our observation, you and I can point myself here as well, nor I have observed ever a 9-year-old who is physically developed, psychologically developed, and mentally developed to even handle sexual intercourse, to handle housing and marriage and a woman's deeds and a wife's responsibilities and a woman's responsibilities, caring for children. She's a child herself. So I think that helps us out.
But if a woman was able to hold a household, able to do all those at the age of 9, would it objectively be right according to you? No. So a 9-year-old is a child, brother. There's no way out of it. Whether she bleeds or not. We agreed with the definition at the beginning that someone who.
No, I didn't. You said that. You said if we mean someone who has hit who hasn't hit puberty, if that's what you mean by child, then I think that's wrong. I granted you that for the sake of argument. I do not agree with that.
Okay, fine, understood. That's fair. Got you. So then I would ask, what's your objective moral proof? If a woman is able to hold down a family, if she's able to hold down a family, she's reached puberty, what's the objective moral proof that?
Yeah, do you know that puberty does not mean that a girl is grown yet? It means that she's maturing. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Yeah, I understand.
So just because she begins her bleeding periods doesn't mean she's ready yet. Doesn't mean she's grown. She's not. She's maturing. She's growing. She's still a child. Like this is why we have what is called pedophiles today, right? Yeah. And they're thrown in jail. Do you think that these guys who have affection for these kids and younger children, 11 years old, 10 years old, 12 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old, do you think that the system is justified in throwing them in prison?
Yes.
Why? Some of them hit puberty.
Well, wait, can you repeat? Like, you're talking about like child predators, basically? Yeah,
child predators who have to register themselves just because they prefer, like you don't prefer this, but they prefer girls like how Muhammad preferred them.
In this day and age, I don't think children at like the age, like people at the age of 9 are mentally mature enough to make a decision.
What if there was one who thought that she thought like, yeah, I'm in love.
Thinking you are isn't the same. I think you are the same.
Okay.
I don't think they're mentally mature enough to make that decision.
No 9-year-old ever is. There's not a single 9-year-old on the face of the planet that has ever been ready for marriage and mature enough to be married or even handle sexual intercourse. She is a child. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you. But my question to you would be, if she was ready to hold down the household and she
That's
did
impossible.
Okay.
There is no if.
Okay, if that condition was met.
She's 9, bro. She's still a kid.
I got you. But
Let's say a 9-year-old's parents died, and so the 9-year-old was forced to take care of her little brothers. And she, from what she remembers how to make toast and eggs, and she remembers how to walk her brother to preschool. But she's still a kid, even though she's helping her brother survive and holding down the household. She's still a child, isn't she?
In today's day and age, yes.
Period.
But I'm asking you if that condition was met.
I just answered you, bro. I know.
I understand. According to you, it's an impossible condition. But if that condition was met and she hit puberty, would you say objectively it's allowed?
I don't know how many times you want me to answer this, bro. Like, what do you understand from my answer? Because I feel like I answered this directly.
Your answer is that it's impossible for a person at the age of 9 to reach that maturity. So therefore, it's not allowed.
Yes. So that's my answer, bro.
If
there is no if. There is no 9-year-old that is able to withstand sexual intercourse, handle a marriage, be ready for marriage, be ready to be a wife. There's no such thing as that. That doesn't exist. What if there was a pink elephant under your bedroom, Avery? Would you keep it as a pet? That's that kind of question. It's absurd.
Brother Godlogic, can I ask him a different question if it's off topic?
Sure. It has because I told him we could go to his topic, so
okay,
it has to be on this topic. If it's on this topic,
Yeah, since we're talking about the morality of his prophet and whatnot, but it's okay if he has to go. That's a different.
Save it for the next one.
Sure.
All right, Rita. What did you want to
wait real quick, just so I could look into it later? Can you just summarize basically your takeaway from the discussion we just had about the age?
Yeah, so chapter 65, verse 4 teaches the marriage and consummation and divorce children, girls who are prepubescent. Chapter 65, verse 4. How we know that it allows for a sexual intercourse with this example that these girls have an iddah. They have a waiting period. Okay, according to the Quran, in chapter 33, verse 49, you do not have a waiting period if your husband did not touch you. Okay, that's chapter 33, verse 49. It says when you divorce a believing woman and before you've touched her, there is no waiting period. There is no iddah for you to place on her. So let her go.
Also, chapter 33:49, you have to combine it with 65:4. If you don't, no touchy, there's no iddah, right?
That's right. So the fact that these girls have an iddah in 65:4, before they've menstruated, they're being divorced and they have an iddah, it means that their husbands slept with them.
Before puberty?
Yes.
Okay. But
So what you need to do is 65:4, you need to combine it with 33:49. In 33:49, it says, if you do not touch, you know what touch means? If you don't touch her, then she doesn't need to wait 3 months. But 65:4 says, also for the young little prepubescent girls, the waiting period is 3 months, which means in 65:4.
Where does it say that?
33:49.
And what?
33:49. Quran.
You got it. Repeat what you said.
So in chapter 33:49, it says, if you did not touch your wife, then there is no need for waiting 3 months, the waiting period, no need. But in 65:4, it says, also for, which means the iddah is also for وَاللَّائِ لَمْ يَحِضْنَ, the ones who did not reach the age of puberty yet, who did not menstruate yet. So if you combine both ayahs, it's very clear. It's clear as the sun.
Is not reaching menstruation only possible through not reaching puberty, or is it also possible in the case of hormonal imbalances, medical problems, etc.?
That would include them. If we're opening that up, it includes them, not excludes them.
Okay, got you. So now I'm going to go back to what Brother Rob said. He said combine the two verses. And Avery, as you agreed, you said that when you combine the two verses, 65:4 even talks about woman like prepubescent woman before
Prepubescent girls.
their husband touched them.
Yep, sexual intercourse with them because they haven't.
Prepubescently, right? When you combine the two verses.
Yep.
So my thing would be is, would you agree in Islam that one of the conditions for marriage is to reach puberty?
No.
No.
No?
No, that's nowhere taught in the Quran.
Okay,
You have to go to outside sources outside the Quran, because clearly, according to you Muslims, then Allah is not clear enough. But yet, in a different ayah says, this is a detailed book, and I know Brother Godlogic can talk hours and hours about the topic. But supposedly the Quran is clear according to Allah, but you have to go to the tafsir to make it make sense. But the Quran is very clear. 33:49 combined with 65:4, it's clear as the sun.
So if there was a condition, you said there wasn't. If there was a condition that they must reach puberty, then would you admit that 65:4 was not talking about prepubescent women? Because
No, because the Arabic is very clear. The Arabic says lam. It doesn't use len.
I got you. But
that would just mean that there's a contradiction, Ryder.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would mean that there's a contradiction. Okay, fine. Yeah. Fair enough. Gotcha. Valid. Okay. So I'm going to look into that. Thank you guys for the points given. Definitely going to look into it. Hopefully, like next week or something, we could talk about it if I join again.
Sure.
So
yep, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, bro.
Got you. Appreciate you for having me. And then we can go over the next point now, the 39:4.
That's what you want to talk about? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So if you want to open it up real quick.
Allah having a son.
Okay. So there are 3 conditional particles in the Arabic language: ida, in, and law. Okay. And brother Rob is here as an Arabic speaker to correct me if I'm wrong. So ida is used for possibilities that are certain or likely to happen. So like, for example, like when this happens, then this other consequent will be met. In is used for uncertainties, which are in the middle. So like, for example, if this were to happen, then this other thing would happen. But then law, which is the same word used for or the same conditional particle used in 39:4, is only used for when both the condition and the consequent are impossibilities. So, and I do have sources to back this up from the leading authority on the Arabic language currently, which is the Academy of Arabic Language of Cairo.
So break this down as simply as possible for us.
Simply as possible, the conditional particle in the verse.
That's not breaking it down simply. Like speak
Okay.
like
The word, okay, fine. Yeah, got you. The word law, which is used in Arabic for even,
for if,
it is only used when the condition and the consequent of the condition are impossibilities.
But brother, you said even, it's if.
It's
No, if. So please don't corrupt Allah's Quran if you don't mind, you know.
Look, if you don't believe me, search up when the conditional particle law is used in Arabic.
it just says
The ayah, in the siyaq of the ayah, it literally says, if Allah wanted. If لو أراد الله.
So just to be clear, just help me out, Ryder. So if, obviously that is conditional, it's a hypothetical. So if what? If Allah had wanted
it's used as a rhetorical question to make them think, and the particle it's a rhetorical statement to make the disbelievers think.
He's refuting them, right? So he's refuting that he has a son by saying if he wanted to, he could have, but he's above that. That's his response, right? Okay, so the question is, when Allah says if he wanted to do it, he could, how can someone come and say, actually, no, this actually is an impossibility?
Well, he doesn't say if he wanted to do it, he could.
It says if Allah had intended to take a son, he could have.
No, he would have. He would have picked.
Oh, so if he wanted to take a son, he would have picked from any of his creation. So could he have picked from any of his creation to be his son?
No, because grammatically, the particle used at the very beginning predicts that the condition and the consequent are completely impossible.
What is the condition based on?
Not true.
Yeah, it's very false. But we're gonna break this down logically. What is the condition based on? The if. What is the if based on?
If he could have a son.
No.
Oh, okay. So you're saying what the consequence of the condition is based on?
What is the okay, let's do this again. The if, the condition, the if. What is that based on?
I'm sorry. I'm not understanding your question. Sorry.
Just go ahead and read the verse.
Okay. Had it been Allah's will to have offspring, he could have chosen whatever he willed of his creation.
All right. So what is the if?
If he willed to have offspring.
And what is the consequence? What is the result?
The consequence is he would have chosen from whatever he willed.
Okay. What is the consequent based on?
The condition that Allah's will was to have offspring.
Very good. The condition that Allah's will was for him to have a son. Can he will to have a son?
No.
Is that impossible?
It is impossible.
It's impossible for Allah to will to have a son?
Yes.
Cool. I got nothing to say to that.
Well, would you say it's impossible for Allah to create a separate deity, for God to create a separate deity?
You have to demonstrate how that's the same thing. How is God creating another deity the same as Allah willing to have a son?
Because having a son creates a separate person with divinity aside from yourself.
But you said you didn't say create a separate person or a distinct person. You said create a separate deity, somebody who has their own ontology, right? Separate from you. So that's what you're talking about. You have to demonstrate that that's what the case is.
Well, my proof to demonstrate that was based on the verse, because the particle used meant that whatever comes next is impossible. So whatever Allah is referencing and whatever came next in that verse, it's talking about something, a hypothetical that's impossible, that could never happen, impossible.
But
that's not true.
It doesn't say that.
That is. Look, as an Arabic speaker, Rob, when is the conditional particle law used? When is it used?
Brother, let me explain it to you. If you go to chapter 112, ayah 3, lam yalid wa lam yulad. Remind me, brother Godlogic, what's the meaning of the word lam again?
Never.
So this means Allah in the future, he can have a child. So Surah Al-Ikhlas refutes you actually. So Allah can have a child in the future.
But it says
It doesn't say lan, it says lam yalid wa lam yulad.
So he could never have a son.
So the word lam means he can in the future have a child. So actually the Quran is doing us a favor again here. Just like in chapter 65, ayah 4. Thank you very much.
When lam is strictly a past tense. It's used to say this has never happened before. So if I say,
so it can happen in the future.
You have to prove that just because something never happened before doesn't mean it can happen in the future.
Why not?
Okay.
Allah says if he wants, he can. So he can. If he wants, he can. And this is why, according to the Sunni sources, according to Omar, Allah has children, and it's an authentic hadith. I know you don't believe in it, but just to give you an example, how in the Sunni sources, actually Allah is a father in some sense.
Okay. So I'd like to first go to what you said. You said just because it says lam, that means that it's possible in the future, correct?
No, lam, not lam. You're corrupting the Quran again, my friend.
I know, lam. Because it says lam, it's possible in the future.
Lam, not len, lam.
And what does lam directly means? It said
it can mean in the future he can.
It can mean in the future he can. But what does it directly mean?
No, it as it is in the ayah, as it is in the ayah, it can mean that in the future he can have children. I'm just going by what the Quran says. I don't need to.
I understand, but lam just means that this has never happened in the past. That's what lam means.
So it can happen in the future.
It can. It can happen in the future.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why, for example, let me tell you, it says lam yalid wa lam yulad. He does not give birth, right? So actually, if we have to compare, for example, Allah with Satan, and we go to the tafsir of chapter 18, ayah 50, this proves that Allah doesn't give birth. That means he can lay eggs, just like Satan in Islam lays eggs every morning. And Satan has a male private part. Let me finish, brother. Then a male private part and a female private part, and he does it to himself, and that's how is able to produce offspring. So this proves again that Allah is like Satan. He can.
Okay, Rob, staying on topic.
I am on topic.
Okay, lam, right? So if I said, using the word lam, that there has never been two gods before, does that mean there can be two gods in the future? Just because I used lam?
He can have offspring. He can take a child. I'm answering. So in the future, it's possible for Allah to do that. It does long, brother. Hold on. Let me finish. So it doesn't forbid Allah. You cannot forbid Allah to take children in the future, because else Allah should have used, if he's the best communicator according to you Muslims, if Allah is the perfect communicator, he should have used len instead of lam, but he didn't.
So
It's not that hard.
once again, I'm going to ask you, just because I said something has never happened in the past, so if I say there has never been two gods in the past, that means I'm saying that there can be two gods in the future. That's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, but the problem is we have another contradiction. Hold on. There is another contradiction, because if you read then chapter 5:18, Allah denies that he is the father of the Jews and the Christians. So you still have a problem, a dilemma to deal with. Either way, you're cooked.
I have a question based on the actual verse in the statement, because this isn't making sense to me. That when Allah says that if he wanted to, he could have or would have, that means that he actually can't. It's like just saying the opposite.
It's a rhetorical question to show the disbelief.
It's not a rhetorical question. It's a hypothetical.
Yeah, it's an impossible hypothetical.
No, it's not. So if if I said, if I wanted to have a pet, then I would have gone to the pet store and chosen from the dogs. Does that mean that it's impossible for me to go to the pet store? That I'm saying that I'm actually saying I can't actually do that when I said that I.
That's because you're using.
I would have done that.
That's because you're using a possible hypothetical. For example, an impossible hypothetical, I could say, how could a square have 5 sides without breaking the laws of geometry?
That's not a hypothetical. That's a question, a straightforward question. A hypothetical is if this, then this. That's hypothetical. If this, then this.
Okay, fine. So if a square had 5 sides.
Hold on, just really quick. If I say, if I wanted a pet, if I wanted to choose a pet, if I had willed to choose a pet, I would have gone to the pet store and picked up a dog.
Yeah, that's
what am I communicating?
You're communicating a possible hypothetical.
But what am I saying in the statement? What am I telling you? What am I communicating to you?
You're saying that if the first condition was met, then the second consequent would be the consequent. Right? Yeah, I got you. Right. So that would be the case.
If I had willed, it's possible that I would have done this. If I wanted to, this would have been the action.
I got you.
If I wanted to.
That would be the case.
That the action is possible.
That would be the case if the word in was used as the conditional particle. But in this case, it's law.
It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with just the statement. The statement says, if Allah had willed to take a son, he could have chosen from his creation, or in your words, would have chosen from his creation. It's communicating something that Allah could have done if he wanted to. He just didn't want to. So that's why he has no kid.
Avery, I'm going to give you an example of a hypothetical that doesn't show the condition is possible. If I were to say, if a square had 5 sides, it would break the laws of geometry. Is that a hypothetical?
Yes.
And did it make just because it was a hypothetical, did it make the condition possible?
If it's a repeat that question, sorry.
Just because it was a hypothetical, did it make the condition possible?
Not necessarily. That's
okay.
Out of reality.
The same case applies to this verse. Just because it was a hypothetical,
but hold on.
Did it make the condition possible?
Let me show you how it's not different. Does a square have will?
No.
Oh, so this is what we would call something that is what's it called? A false equivalence. When you're comparing an entity with a will, who applies his will to something and say he would have done this if he willed, versus an inanimate object and a fact about an inanimate object saying, if a square would have had 5 sides or whatever, 5 angles, then it would break the laws of physics or whatever.
But
right?
You would agree.
That's a false equivalence.
Got you.
False equivalence.
You would agree.
Let me land it. Continue. So it's not analogous when we're talking about Allah, who has a will, who has a mind, and communicates and says, hey guys, to refute you saying that I have a son, this is my response to you. If I wanted to have a son, I could have chosen from my creation, or I would have chosen from my creation. That's communicating that Allah could have if he wanted to. But he didn't.
You would agree that there can be hypotheticals that do not affirm the condition is possible.
Sure.
Okay.
What is that? How does
So just because there's a hypothetical that says if God did this, just because there's a hypothetical that has that, that doesn't mean that the condition is possible.
So what I need you to do, my brother, is I need you to make that here. Bring that here to animate beings saying, I would, if I wanted to, I would have. If I wanted to, I would have, meaning that when they're saying that they would have, actually means that they couldn't in the first place. So it means that they actually would not have. Like, for example, if Allah wanted to take a son, could he have taken from his creation?
No.
So then he's lying.
Wait, repeat the question.
Oh, you're out of the fold of Islam now.
Repeat the question. Sorry, I didn't hear the question properly.
I got you. If Allah wanted to take a son, could he have chosen from his creation?
It's two impossibilities. If the first impossibility was met, then yes, the second impossibility would be met as well.
So notice this, that the result is based on the condition. The condition is Allah's will. That's the condition. If he had willed to do this, then he could have done this. So according to the verse, if Allah had willed to take a son, he could have. That's the point. But you're saying it's impossible for Allah to will to have a son in the first place, right?
Yes, because the verse affirms that.
Okay, so when it says that if Allah had willed to take a son, then this is already Allah contradicting himself, acting as if, but because he continues to say, if he had willed to take a son, then he would have. He would have chosen from the creation. But unfortunately for Allah, it's actually impossible for you to will that in the first place. So why are you using this as a refutation as if it makes sense?
Because it's used as a rhetorical statement to make the disbelievers think. Because the whole point is you're giving God these sons that are so heinous. Some of them were disgusting, the statues, right? Mm-hmm. Why would those be the sons when there could be beautiful angels?
Who cares? You know what? He actually uses this, right? Rob, Allah gets mad that they're giving him daughters and not sons, right, Rob?
Yep.
So
Allah didn't like women. Allah didn't like daughters. Yeah.
Yes. So he
show them how it's a rhetoric to show them how stupid it is to think that God would pick this over another.
No, he actually gets mad that they're giving him daughters and not sons.
Avery, can you please just search up what does the conditional particle LAW in Arabic mean? Yeah, I don't. Please.
My brother, I couldn't care less about what somebody makes up of some conditional participle, particle, whatever. And then they say, oh, well, when this is used, this means that it's actually an impossible thing. That's not what the verse says.
Because if it was a possible condition, the particle in or either would have been used.
But I got you. Let me go with you. You don't even got to finish explaining. Let me go with you. So it's impossible for Allah to even will to have a son in the first place, correct?
According to the verse, yes.
Okay. So according to the verse, it's impossible for Allah to will to have a son. So what is he getting them to think about? Because you said that the reason why he gives them this response is to get them to think and see how futile and unreasonable it is to say that he has a son anyway, that he has offspring at all. So if this is impossible for him to will to do, how does that answer them?
I got you. So this question is very simple. So even if God could do that, why would he choose disgusting, heinous statues rather than beautiful angels to be his sons?
That's not his response. His response is, if he wanted to do that, then he could have chosen it from any of his creation.
Yeah. So if the impossible condition of him wanting to do that was met, why would he pick those heinous statues instead of anything he could pick in his entire creation? That's the question.
I need your help. help. In this moment, I need you not to add to the verse. I'm not adding to the verse.
Okay.
Does the verse say anything about Allah having a preference of offspring that they're ascribing to him?
Well, when it says he would have picked from whatever he created.
So does that mean he has a preference among his creation, or it's up to him?
It's up to him.
Very good. So it's up to him. The verse has nothing to do with why would I choose these disgusting type of creatures rather than these beautiful creatures. That's not what the verse says. The verse just simply says, hold on. The verse simply demonstrates and forget demonstrated, it says that he would choose whatever he willed from his creation. So again, you're saying that the point of him using this impossible nonsense is to get them to think. How does this refute them? How does this get them to think that, you know what? It's actually impossible for Allah to have a son in the first place when he's saying the opposite.
He's not saying the opposite, because if you understood Arabic, you would know that the particle used predicts that the following are impossible. Okay. So it's not saying the opposite. It's saying exactly what I'm saying.
All right, I'll rest it here. All right, man. Well, I'll bring up another guest. We're just at an impasse here, but I appreciate you trying. You can keep coming as well. I like you, Rita. So you can come back again, okay?
Sorry if I was getting like passionate and stuff. I didn't know.
That's how this is. I didn't.
Maybe I was a little rude somewhere within it, so I do apologize if I was.
Brother, you don't got to do that. There was no point where you were rude. You were passionate, not rude. There's a difference. You can be passionate and have good dialogue like we did today. It's all good.
But before he goes, brother, as a Shia, I find it fascinating that you're trying to defend this while you believe that the Quran is corrupted. And I believe that
No, we don't. No,
yes, you do. Because I can show you an authentic hadith. Because I believe that actually in your Shia Quran, Allah would have stated, before removing all of these verses by you Muslims, that Allah would have stated that he would have taken a son. Because let me ask you a question. How many verses are in your today's Shia Quran? In total? 6,200 what?
Let me search it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah.
LGBT.com.
6,346, I think.
Yeah. Watch this. Let me drop the hadith too for Brother Godlogic.
If you will, please let me respond to it, because I already know that.
Yeah, hold on, brother. If a Brother Godlogic, can you pull up the hadith that I just dropped in the chat on the screen, and so he can read it? And by the way, the hadith is completely perfect, completely fine. Let him read it. Remember 6,200 something, right?
Yeah.
And how big was the Quran according
to this hadith? It was 17,000.
17,000. So more than half of the Quran went missing according to Shia.
So are you now gonna let me respond? Okay. So something you're misunderstanding about hadith sciences and Shi'ism is that even if a hadith is sahih, we reject it if it goes against the Quran, and that's made very clear. Al-Kulayni, the author of Al-Kafi, in the very beginning of the book, he said, whatever hadith I narrate in this, check with the Quran. If the Quran proves it's true, then accept it. If the Quran
beautiful. Now show me in the Quran then. Show me in the Quran where the Quran says there are only 6,200 something ayahs. You won't find it. So
the Quran, chapter 15, verse 9, it says that it was preserved perfectly.
So
if it
how does this hadith contradict the Quran? It doesn't. It's only saying that originally the hadith was 70,000 verses.
The Quran that we have now is around 6,000. The hadith says that it's 17,000. If it was properly preserved, then what we have right now is the actual Quran. And the Quran affirms in chapter 15, verse 9, that the Quran is preserved, meaning that the Quran we have now is the original Quran, and the Quran we have now is the Quran with about 6,000 verses. So therefore, this hadith contradicts the Quran, and according to the very author of this book, I just explained to you how it does.
No, it doesn't.
To be fair, the chapter 15, verse 9 doesn't say the Quran. It says the reminder.
And then 15:6. What is it? What does 15:6 define the reminder as? The Quran.
Well, no, it doesn't.
It says the book that was revealed to Muhammad was the dhikr.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this up, because in the next verse actually talks about the things before the Quran.
So 15:6, it says, "Oh, you who have been sent the dhikr," correct? So what was Muhammad revealed?
Why are you saying this is Muhammad?
Because who is the Quran talking to? Who is it revealed to?
That's what I'm asking you. Why are you assuming that it's talking about what's revealed to Muhammad?
Because the Quran was revealed to Muhammad.
And the reminder was also given to Moses and Aaron and Jesus, right? So why are you saying that this is automatically about Muhammad?
Because the claim that's being made, calling Muhammad crazy, that's what the verse is referenced.
It doesn't say that though. But let me grant you that to you. Let's say we give that this is talking about Muhammad. It's ambiguous, but let me give it to you. It's talking about Muhammad, and Muhammad was given a reminder. That's true.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that verse 9 says that the reminder is about Muhammad, is the Quran?
Okay, perfect. So the context that's given, based on the context that's given, since you said you accepted my premise, then not accept it for the sake of the debate, of course. So then based on the context given, what is the dhikr defined as? Based on the context given, according to the premise you accepted for the sake of the debate.
Yeah, to me, it looks like the dhikr will be Allah's revelation in general, because in verse 6, if we're saying that that's the Quran, in verse 9 and 10, in verse 10, it mentions the messengers before Muhammad, right after saying that Allah guards the reminder.
Of course, yeah.
So it seems that if we're being charitable, I think that it would include all the books as being the reminder in verse 9 that Allah guards.
Yeah, but the following verse doesn't reference dhikr at all. It doesn't reference reminders at all.
So what? And the verse 6 doesn't reference Muhammad, right? But we're taking that from what?
Yeah, but you said you accepted it for the sake of the debate.
Yeah, so if we're going with context, then the very next verse that mentions after Allah protects the reminder and he guards it, he mentions sending messengers before Muhammad of old. So the revelation that they have as well.
So where is that inclusion made?
Right here. Indeed, we sent messengers before you amongst the sects of old.
Yeah, but where is the inclusion made in regards to the dhikr, the reminder? Because the only inclusion made so far, based on the context, is
you agree that the previous scriptures are also the reminder, right?
Yeah, they are reminders.
Okay, so when the Quran says that it is we who guard the reminder, and then immediately
wait, so just so we're clear, it says the reminder, meaning only one.
Oh, only one?
It says the reminder.
Okay, so when in 1643, when Allah says, "Go ask the people of the reminder," who are we talking about?
They're talking about the Jews and Christians that converted to Islam.
The Jews and the Christians. It doesn't say that converted to Islam. It says the people of the reminder. Okay, so it says the Jews and the Christians. Do the Jews and the Christians have the same book?
You said 1643?
Yeah.
Where does it say Jews or Christians?
It says the people of the reminder. I asked you who the people of the reminder were. You said Jews and Christians.
I said the Muslims that converted from Judaism and Christianity.
The Jews and the Christians who converted to Islam. That's what you said.
The Jews and Christians that converted to Islam. So when they are Muslims, that's what the verse is referring to by Ahlul Dhikr.
No, well, that you can say that if you want. That's not what that means at all. But I'll let you. Who cares? So you agree that the people of the reminder are Jews and Christians, correct?
People of the reminder, yeah, they could be Jews and they could be Christians.
Oh, they are.
Right. They are. It's not they could be. They are the Jews and the Christians. So when it's referring to the Jews and the Christians as the people of the al-dhikr, the reminder, do they have the same book?
Do the Jews and Christians have the same book as what?
Do they have the same book as each other? Do they follow the same book?
No.
Right. So the Jews have the Torah, the Christians, they have the gospel, they have the Injil, right?
Yeah.
So they have two different books, yet they're still called the people of al-reminder, as in one reminder, like you said. So
where are the Jews and Christians called Ahlul Dhikr, the people of the reminder?
Brother, you trolling me, man? Are you trolling me, Rita?
Maybe
wait, I'm sorry, because 1643 doesn't mention anything about Jews and Christians, so I'm just asking.
So Rita, I like you, man, so I don't want to have to do the watch your clip back thing.
Yeah, I got you.
You just said multiple times.
Yeah.
That the Jews and Christians are the people of the reminder. That's what you said multiple times, dude. You agreed with that.
Yeah, they are people of the reminder, but I don't believe that they're the people of the reminder referred to in this verse right
Okay,
here.
So then who are they then? When it says, when Muhammad is talking and says, we did not send, when it says to him, we did not send messengers before you except men, right? And it says, and if you do not know, then go and ask the people of the reminder.
Yeah, but could people of the reminder, could people of the reminder also refer to Muslims?
No, not before Muhammad. Is it telling Muhammad to go ask Muslims?
It's telling him to go ask Ahlul Dhikr.
Right. Are they the Muslims? Does Muhammad need to go to Muslims to ask about what Allah is telling him about? Do the Muslims have that information?
No.
Who does? Who does, brother?
Who has knowledge of what Allah revealed to the Prophet? Only him. Mm-hmm. Only him.
Let's do this again.
Yeah.
It says, and we sent not before you any but men whom we inspired.
Are we on 1610 right now?
1643.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry, 1643. Okay, I'm on it, yeah.
So Allah says to Muhammad, we sent not before you except men. They were just men, right? That we inspired.
Yes.
Those are the prophets before Muhammad, correct?
Yeah.
All right. And then Allah says to him, so ask those, the people of the reminder, if you do not know. So if you don't know, Muhammad, what I'm telling you about, that the people I sent before you were just men, these prophets of old before were men, then go and ask the people of the reminder. Who are they? It can't be the Muslims because they know as much as Muhammad knows.
Could it have been the Muslims that converted from Judaism and Christianity? Because they also had believed in the Torah and the gospel.
So if, let's say that some of these people converted, so he needs to go ask the Jews and Christians who believe in him as a prophet to get this,
to hear about the stories of the prophets that came.
Okay. And what were their books that they're getting this information from?
They're getting it from the Torah and the gospel that they have.
So the Torah and the gospel are identified as al-reminder together, right?
Yeah.
So just because it says al-reminder doesn't mean it's talking about one singular book. So in 15:9 says that Allah guards al-reminder. Your rebuttal was, well, it's al-reminder, meaning it's only talking about one singular thing. No, because al-reminder can refer to multiple things, multiple books all at once.
Brother Godlogic, on top of that, I don't want to make it too hard on this person because clearly he didn't read his book. Actually, when we showed you the authentic hadith, from Emirat al-Uqul, actually the scholars are saying, and it's also in Al-Kulayni, in Al-Kulayni's, I have a book here that says literally that this scholar who explains that hadith, he says that Al-Kulayni truly believed what he said in that hadith. So yes, it's authentic, but he believed in it. Yet you, a modern day Shia in 2026, you think that you know better than Imam Al-Kulayni, who wrote Al-Kafi. That's tough.
There are people that claimed Kulayni believed in tahrif, distortion. There are people who think he did.
The scholars, that's how they explain. So he truly believed in it, and the hadith, there's no issue with it. So you still have a dilemma, brother. Either way. And on top of that, I believe that you Shia, unlike the Sunnis, you believe that when Imam Mahdi comes, you believe in a guy called Imam Mahdi. He's the last Imam. I think you're a 12 Shia, right?
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm.
You think that the last Imam will bring with him the correct Quran with the correct explanations, right?
The correct exegesis, the correct explanation of the Quran.
Yeah, exactly. So you're waiting for the real explanation. Godlogic, take this as a note. Shia believe that the correct, 100% correct explanation for the Quran will be brought by this guy in the future called Imam Mahdi. So they have to speculate actually on the meaning of the Quran. But
all right.
Yeah, Godlogic, you should probably move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Rita. Take care of yourself, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Hopefully we talk again. But once again, sorry if I did seem rude in any way, shape, or form.
You're good.
All right. All love. I'll see you.
Yes, sir. Peace. All right. That was Rita. Man, Muslims. I guess it's interesting because Muslims that we're hearing them say that they wouldn't do something that Muhammad did based on their preference. Even though Muhammad did it, they're not condemning it, but they're saying they wouldn't do it. So you're still morally better than Muhammad because you wouldn't do these actions, but you're still on the bad end on the moral side for not being able to condemn said action because you know you're going against your prophet. And that's unfortunate.
Welcome back, guys. I believe you enjoyed watching this video. Let us know your thoughts, what you learned. Don't forget to share our videos with your friends, your family. Subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos like this. I strongly believe that the purpose of this conversation is not to entertain. It is not for emotions or blind loyalty to a system. The purpose is to bring clarity and truth to you. And real truth does not fear examination. Real truth invites questions. It welcomes becomes investigation and stand firm under scrutiny. In case you feel that questioning your faith is out of place, then that your faith is questionable. If a belief system claims to come from God, then it must be consistent with reality, it must be consistent with history, it must be consistent with morality, and it must be consistent with reasoning. Faith is not the absence of evidence. Faith is trust placed in what has been shown to be true. So I encourage you, don't outsource your thinking. Don't accept claims simply because they were handed down to you by your parents or by people you respect, or simply because those claims are popular around your region. So I urge you to test everything, follow the evidence wherever it leads, even if that journey challenges everything that you have always believed. Truth does not need emotional manipulation to survive. It does not need fear to keep its followers in line, and it does not collapse when honest questions are asked. What is true will always remain standing even through the test of time. And if this video made you to pause, reflect, or think something you have been told, then it has served its purpose. Because this channel exists to challenge the ideas, not attack people or a group of people. It is here to expose contradiction and not to insult, and to encourage thoughtful, respectful dialogue in the pursuit of truth. Until next time, stay tuned and stay honest. See you in our next video.